are just temporary. So whenever you have a short-term goal, if you never take the time to look past it, then once that event is over, then so is all the motivation you had to work hard. So the idea of helping someone become a fitness fisherman, it's starting with whatever motivation you have to get going, but it's taking the time to look deeper and look long term. How can this become a long-term part of your life? How does it best fit in your life? So it doesn't become something that's inconsistent. It becomes something that sticks and really you use as a tool to become the best version of yourself. So a fitness fisherman is someone who can keep fitness a priority in their life, regardless of how their life changes for the good or bad.
Wow. So, what's the biggest misconception people have about fitting fitness into their lives, and how do you help them overcome it?
Yeah. So on my website, thefitnesspivot.com, that
Mhm.
is where right away you're going to get material that will help you with this problem. So most of the time when we struggle, when our desire for change and to look and feel better is at its peak, and we struggle to get consistency, we struggle to get started, we're often really hard on ourselves and we shame ourselves like, well, I didn't want it bad enough, or I just didn't work hard enough. And most of the time, if you're struggling to get started, it has nothing to do with any of that. It has more to do with what you're trying to do doesn't necessarily fit in your life. So whenever it's life changes that cause us to fall off
Mm.
track with our fitness. And when life changes happen, we're really good at adapting like naturally when it comes to our family, our career, our faith, things that are most important in our lives. But when it comes to our health, health always becomes a thing in our mind that we're putting off till later, that we're going to get to later because we think we're too busy now.
Mhm.
And so people have to realize that doing less does not make it less of a priority. So, and as your life changes, the
Mhm.
way fitness fits in your life is going to change. It may look different or it may look less. You may be doing less, it may be doing more, but the golden rule is what you do for fitness has to fit in your life. If it doesn't fit, it won't stay there very long, no matter how bad you want it. So that is the misconception that most people have to really learn that it's not you're not trying hard enough. It's not that you don't want it bad enough. It's that what you're trying to do probably just doesn't fit in your life, and you need to adjust to what does fit in your life.
Wow. You know that um, I think so many of us get stuck in that mindset of all or nothing. Either
Yeah.
we are crushing it at the gym or completely off track. So the balance you are talking about feels like a breath of fresh air. Yeah. So one thing, I mean, that really stood out to me about your approach is how you focus on life's curveballs. I mean, those unexpected changes that throw us off. So why do you think that fitness is often the first thing people let go of during their tough times?
Yeah, I think it's the way we think of it. It's always
Mhm.
something we don't have this sense of urgency because of the way we think about fitness in our lives. We always think, well, our job, our family, those things got to take first. But with fitness, we can get to that at any time. We can worry about our health at any time, so we don't have as much sense of urgency. But you're doing yourself a disservice. What you have to realize, and what I try to help people realize with my business, the Fitness Pivot, is that no matter what is most important to you. So if you were asked, what are your top priorities? I have asked that question a lot in studies, and most people say family, career are their top two. But it ultimately you have to learn that no matter what your top priorities are, what is most important to you in your life, you will not be able to show up as the best version of yourself if fitness is not a part of the equation too, if fitness is not a priority as well. So that is why we have to learn to adapt faster to how fitness fits in our life after it changes. So, because in order for us to show up, whether things are going good or bad in life, show up as the best version of ourselves, we have to take good care of ourselves. So everything that fitness is, whatever your workouts look like, whatever your meal plans looks like, whatever, sleep, hydration, and meditation, everything that is part of the equation to make you your best, which is fitness, and it's got to be a part of your life. It can't be something that you're just shelving till later because as for all the days that you're shelving it, you're going to wait to get to later, you are getting farther and farther away from being the best version of yourself.
Lovely, lovely. And okay, so one more thing is like, You also talk about the cleans and reset approach. So, if you can also explain what that looks like and why it's such a powerful tool for building consistency.
Yeah, that is where I normally start with people. It's a cleanse
Mm,
and reset. It comes up with two coaching calls, the Dorman cleanse and the fitness reset. So at the fitnesspivot.com, right away, you'll get some giveaways, some takeaways to help you become the
mm,
best version of yourself, something to kick you off to a good start. But one of the early things I'm going to pitch to give to you to get you started is the cleanse and reset. And so it's two parts.
mm,
First, it's redefining what fitness means to you. So redefining your definition of fitness. And so the definition of fitness is basically what you're doing, but a lot of times people don't hear that quite right. So a better way to say it is, what does fitness mean to you? And so what fitness means to us, it changes a lot as our life changes. It's like what fitness meant to me 20 years ago, it's completely
mm,
different than what fitness means to me right now. But as your life changes, what your definition of fitness and what fitness means to you changes. So you have to kind of bounce with that. You have to adjust with that. So the first thing we do is we redefine what does fitness mean to you right now that your life has changed. And the reset part, that is just figuring out how fitness fits in your life. So if you're struggling with I'm too busy or I don't have any time or those kind of excuses, it's because
mm,
you haven't reestablished how fitness fits in your life. So the fitness reset is just a way for you to take a step back, take a bird's eye view of your life, and take a year to look at your schedule, your family, your career, everything that's most important to you. What is your commitments? What does your life look like right now? And then decide, how does fitness fit in there? How does it fit? What does it look like? How long is it? All those things. So that cleanse and reset, that's an important thing, that it's another one of those things where we give you the tools, we teach you how to do it once, and then you know how to do it for the rest of your life. And every time a life change happens, you can cleanse and reset and adjust to that change
mm,
so that you don't end up on the inconsistency roller coaster. You're able to roll with the punches and keep fitness a part of
mm.
your life.
Yeah, I think a lot of people need permission to reset without feeling like they are failed. So,
Yeah.
that's a mindset shift. Yeah, alone could be a game changer for so many listeners. Yeah. So, Chad, you were an expert at boasting excuses, and let's be real, I am too busy is the king of all of them. So, what's your go-to strategy for helping people overcome the "I am too busy" excuse?
Yeah. This is a big one. We all face the I'm too busy it
Mm,
always shows up with our health, but it's just kind of something that comes up all the time with us, this tough obstacle. And most of the time what I've learned is when people say I'm too busy, what they
mm,
really mean is I'm too busy to work out like I used to. So a
okay.
life change has happened, whether it be good or bad, big or small. It could be so many different things. I got married, divorced, I moved, I got fired, I got promoted. My job has more travel, my job is more sedentary now. Whatever it is, it's changed how fitness fits in your life. And now some time has
Mm,
gone by and fitness has not been a part of your life and you're ready to get back in shape, but you're stuck thinking. So whenever we're ready to get started again, we always think of the last time fitness did fit, or the last time we got great results. And whatever we did for our fitness routine at that time, that becomes the bar. That's the precedent. So like doing anything less than that is not doing enough, and it's almost like we'd be ashamed of it. So we don't have time is what we land on, and we just get to it later. If I can't do that, then I don't have
mm,
time. And we have to realize that what fits in your life now may be less than what you did then. And that
mm.
doesn't make it less of a priority. All it means is it fits differently right now. And that's okay. But that is how we get stuck on the I'm too busy excuse, is because we have this bar already set for ourselves. And a lot of times if what we did then doesn't fit in our life, then we're just stuck on, well, I just can't do it right now. I have to wait till I have more time. And that day may not come for a long time.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, so you have said that people often need to redefine what fitness means to them. So why is that redefinition so important, especially for busy professionals?
Well, in order to get results, fitness is not one size fits all, right?
Mm,
And so just because something worked for somebody else doesn't mean it's going to work for you. And just because
mm,
something worked for you in the past doesn't mean it's going to work for you now, because your life is different. So what you do, not only does it have to fit in your life, it has to be customized to you. So this time of year, when there's so many promises out there of fast results with little or no work on your part. Instant gratification is all over the place. And as our desire for change and to look and feel better reaches its peak, we are the easiest prey for this kind of thing. And if you don't want to just be if you don't want your end result just to be disappointed and to feel like you got
Mm,
ripped off or didn't get what you paid for, then you have to know that your last line of defense to make sure you don't get scanned by something that's not right for you
mm,
is to know if does it does it fit you? Is it customized to you? If everyone doing the program or doing
mm,
the using the supplement, whatever it is, if everyone doing it is doing the exact same thing, then it's
mm,
probably not going to be fit to you. If it doesn't take into factor your fitness goals, your fitness history, your lifestyle, your schedule, your age, and the fitness level that you're at right now, if it doesn't take any of that into account, then it's not
mm.
customized at all to you, and it probably won't fit.
That's a great perspective, I would say. Yeah. And also on this, when we're talking about the fitness thing, uh, like let's talk about one of your signature lessons, like how to avoid turkey bacon and uh, become a donut slayer. What's the story behind that? I mean, how do these lessons tie into your philosophy on the fitness?
Yeah. So turkey bacon is my word for instant gratification. So I
Okay.
use turkey bacon because I hate turkey bacon. It's not bacon. It's
Okay.
not real, right? It's one of
Uh,
those things where it looks like the real thing and then you get it and you're just really disappointed because you realize right away it's nothing like what you thought it was. And so that is exactly what instant gratification is. All the promises of fast results with little or no work on
mm,
your part. You have to know there's no easy button, there's no shortcut when it comes to fitness. Everyone has to put in the work. You just have to figure out how the work fits for you and what it looks like for you. But there is no shortcut. If you're just end up being disappointed because you're going to get something that's not at all what you were actually wanting.
mm,
But that is what turkey bacon is. It's instant gratification. So like that last line of defense I told you about, that has got to be something that helps you. Because when it's when you fall for turkey bacon, by the way, it is a lot of ways it's a good sign because it
mm,
means that your desire for change and your desire to your motivation to look and feel better is there. So when you don't get results, it's not because you didn't want it bad enough. You clearly want it very bad. It's just you haven't figured out the right thing for you yet, is the only problem. The donut slayer the donut slayer is just a donuts are obstacles that we can't see coming, curveballs, if you will. So like there are certain obstacles when you start a fitness program. There are excuses and obstacles and challenges that you're going to face that you know are going to show up because our track history tells us. So when we've done a fitness program in the past or when we've gotten in shape in the past, we know that these certain things are going to pop in our lives and are going to be challenging at times. So we can plan for those things because we expect them. But donuts are the curveballs that we cannot, the unexpected challenges that we can't predict, that we cannot plan for. And it's just one of those things we have to learn that when plan A does not work anymore, how do you pivot to plan B? So on the fitness pivot, that's part of what the fitness pivot is about. When plan A no longer fits, how do you pivot to plan B? And that is something we just have to learn, and it's a
mm,
practice that you have to get better at over time with practice. But it just comes with no matter what mentality. So like my plan A will not work anymore. So I planned on working. So for example, I planned on running this morning, but I was
mm,
all ready. I opened the door, and when I opened the front door, it was pouring outside. So
mm.
plan A may not work now. I could go run in the rain. If I can't do
Yeah,
that,
yeah.
then how else am I going to do it? Or maybe it was I was going to work out over my lunch break, and
Mm,
all of a sudden I have a work meeting that pops up, or a client fire and I got to deal with. Something happened, and so now that takes away my lunch break. Or I was going to work out after work and then come home. But all of a sudden, I get a call from the school, and my kid is sick now, so I have to go and bring the kid home, and now I'm working from home the rest of the day. So that takes that away. So something happens that you could not plan for, and that throws Plan A out the window. And the becoming a donut slayer, that is learning how to pivot. What's
mm,
Plan B now? Now that Plan A won't fit, how can I still get my workout in? How can I still make fitness a priority today? It's not going to look the same, but I can still do it.
Exactly, exactly. Great. So, what one advice you'd like to give to the listeners who is listening today?
Yeah, if you're listening today and you found some good information, then be sure to go to thefitnesspivot.com. There's a right away when you get there, you'll get a make yourself a priority starter kit that stems from my best-selling book, Make Fitness a Priority. And so it'll give you some tools to get started on your journey. The big piece of advice I'd want to give to you as you start your journey is just to know that you don't have to be perfect. Making fitness a priority in your life has nothing to do. There's no need for you to be perfect. That is an impossible bar to set. I know right now with New Year's resolutions, that is the illusion that we're under in
Mm.
society that we have to be perfect, that one mistake and it's over. You might as well wait and start over next year, right?
Yeah.
But that's not the case. Everyone is going to fail. You know, if we get to the 6 weeks and they give us that stat that
Mm.
now that we're 6 weeks into the year, 90% of people have failed. Eventually, we'll hear that stat this year because we do every year. But if you're in the 10% that hadn't failed, then good
Mm.
for you, but your time's coming. You're going to fail too. Everybody fails. And so failing does not end your fitness journey and it doesn't define you either. What defines you is how you respond. What makes you stronger and makes you better at showing up as your best self because of fitness is how you get back on track every time after you make a mistake. After you make a mistake, there's one thing you should think about in your head, and that is it's what I do next that counts. So how do you keep fitness a priority? Not like one mistake turn into three. Just how do I get back on track? That's the best advice when you start a fitness journey.
Perfect, perfect. That's really lovely. Jared, thank you so much for sharing your insights and practical strategies with us today. And I know that this conversation is going to resonate with so many people out there who are trying to figure out how to make their health a priority. So, dear listeners, if this episode has inspired you, then share it with someone who needs to hear it and let us know your thoughts by leaving a review or reaching out to us on social media. And as always, take care of your mind, body, and your masculinity. I'm Avik, your host, and I'll see you next time on Mind Over Masculinity. Till then, thank you so much.